Hey guys, welcome to the Carrot Fang channel. My name is Carrot Fang and this is not my main channel, so make sure you subscribe for more extra content, some behind the scenes like this video, and even more. And you want to make mob battle but don't know exactly how to do it, so I'm gonna go over everything I'm using to do mob battle. This might not be the only way to do it, but this is how I do it, and you're gonna go behind the scene of everything I do to make mob battle. So we're gonna go with the mod use, the commands I use, how I set up some fights, the worldedit command that I use to simplify my life and save a lot of time, and some other stuff here and there. So, first of all, what are the mods that I use to make mob battle? Well, the first one and the most obvious one is the mob battle mod. I'm not gonna go in detail on how to use it here. There's a tutorial I made on my main channel, so you can go there and check. The link will be in the description and at the top corner right now. Oh, also, we're gonna mostly cover 1.19 because this is mainly the version I'm using right now. There's a new mod that can help for mob battle, and it's called Mob Battle Extra by Angry Mutant Enderman. And this thing, it's really useful. I honestly haven't tried everything, but the thing I'm using the most is the mob despawner. This thing is a time saver. Like if you summon a bunch of really annoying mobs like the Clownager, you can simply right click, they're all gone. It just deletes the mob from reality. You can also left click one of them if you don't want to just delete everything. Another mob I'm using, if you look in the top left corner, it's Total Health. And even though on the curseforge page it says 1.19 only and it doesn't appear in the app, you can download it and put it in the 1.19.2 folder and it's gonna work perfectly. So you see he's taking 1 damage, and why do you have no knockback? Why? Anyway, and lastly, the other mod I already talked about is worldedit. This thing can save a lot of time. Let's go to another arena to look at the commands I'm using. First, we're gonna look at the most used command block I'm using in almost every mob battle, NoAI. Every time I do mob battle with more than one mob, I'm just removing their AI like this. So everything we'll talk about will be in the description below. Any mob that is not from Leo, like this, they just don't have any AI. I can go in survival mode and unless they have some weird attack that doesn't need AI, you see, they don't do anything. They just doesn't exist. It's like if the time has stopped. But as soon as I can flick on and off this lever, it doesn't matter once they are AI stopped, except for the new spawn stuff. Some of them will spawn new mob. So you can just flick this lever. This one has the no AI 0. And if you do this, then they gain back their AI. Next command we're gonna look is the kill arrow inGround. This thing simply just deletes every arrow that are stuck in the ground, because if you do like 100 skeleton versus 100 pillagers, there's gonna be a lot of arrows stuck in the ground and it can cause a lot of lag if you're not careful enough. So this thing simply removes the arrows in the ground. They're not useful anymore, so it's just a lag reducer. Then in Minecraft, every mob has a thing called follow range. This thing is basically the distance that a mob will spot another entity. So this command right here is it changed every value of follow range to 100. 100 is a lot. It's about the length of this arena, so you might not have to do 100. This thing will cause lag because the mob has to look 100 blocks around it to find a mob. So it could be heavy on your computer if you have way too many mobs. So you can set it to like 40 or 50. But I like to set it to 100 because I have a beefy enough computer to allow it. Normally a zombie has a follow range of 32 and like a pillager has like a 16 or 14 or something like that. It does break some mobs, like the evoker will try to do the fang attack from really far distance. Then there's the PersistenceRequired. PersistenceRequired makes so that mob does not despawn. It's really useful, but some mobs will break and crash your game, especially the mutant zombie. Don't let this run. So if you have it on always active, everything will never despawn. So a zombie will never, you can go far away, it's never gonna despawn, because the mutant zombie, when it's calling its friends, its other zombies, the particles that summons the zombie counts as an entity and it breaks. But it's really useful if you're doing like on 1000 zombies versus something, and you want to keep your mobs active, and when you're far away, well, that's the only way you can keep the mobs without despawning. Then there's the most useful command for mob fight, and it's team join the teams that you chose or you created. Be sure to not put space in the name of your team when you create it. A space will never work. It has to be one word. This will spam forever, so if you say one thing, it's just gonna fly through like this. So you have to put your command block rule to false, or else it's just gonna be spam. Weirdly enough, you can't add multiple entities with one command block, so if I want to do type something, it's not gonna work. You have to make multiple command blocks to add something to a team, Another special command block you want to have if you have a mob that is teleporting a lot and is moving way too fast and way too randomly, and it just goes out of your arena, teleport in the void, teleport in the sky, or whatever, you want to use a command block like this. Like for example, here we have the hyperskeleton, which is a really hyperactive mob, and every time the mob goes beyond 55 blocks out of the command block, it's gonna teleport the mob 2 blocks above the command block. So I have in the middle of my arena right here the command block for the hyperskeleton. So if we have a hyperskeleton 75 blocks away, which is about the corner and the side of the arena, it will be teleported back in the center. And it's also a good way to contain the fight if mobs are flying and going in the sky. That's pretty much everything you need to know for the command blocks I use. Of course, there's stuff like giving effect, like glowing to a hyperskeleton, follow it around, or other effect to counteract some other effect. But that's pretty much it. One last thing with the command blocks. So if you have some fight that have summons or annoyance that is summoned by the mobs, or like some projectile that are buggy, what I suggest you to do is just place a command block and do /kill, find the entity in the list of entity, and just constantly killing it. And now it's the good time to move on to the next segment on how I set up the fights. So we're gonna go quickly through this one. We're gonna go how to set up 1v1, team fight, battle royale, and summon a lot of mobs. So for 1v1, unless the mob summons stuff or does weird stuff, the only thing you need is the mob enrager. Basically, you summon one mob, simply like that, they will fight like this. Now for the team fight, what I usually do is have 2 sticks with different name. I go into team config like this and I change the friendly fire to false. Now it's already false, but for the team fight, I stop the time, I summon whatever I want for team. If there's like 4, 5, 6, 7 mobs, I just go left click, left click, left click. But if I have way more, what I can do is just crouch, right click to reset position. If you right click one corner and another corner, everything is described in my mob battle video. You have a box that you can just right click and everything in it will be added to the team. So if we just add these guys to the other team, like this. And let's use the clock to start the time, because basically it's the same thing as leaving them AI. Now they should, there we go, hate each other, even though they're the same villagers. Now there's 2 ways to do battle royale. The first one is to have a bunch of mob battle team stick. So you just stop the time, you place 4 random mobs. Okay, this is not balanced, but whatever. You just add 1 team, 2 team, 3 team, 4 team. Then you just restart the time and let them go. The other method you can use is not with a team stick, it's with the egg that is given by the mob battle mod. So you left click a mob, it will be saved in this egg and you can summon it as many times as you want. So the thing is to have 4 different egg with all the 4 different mobs in it. And if you rename the egg itself to the team name, so here you have, or for team, just stop the time and do the same thing here, 4 mobs. There we go, they should be added to the team like this. There we go. And now they fight each other. And now this is how I do my massive mob battles. So there's 2 ways I do it. The first one is with a command block that is triggered by redstone. So I have these 2 command blocks here. One that summons zombie at this position and another one that, like 10 blocks, so next to it. And if I put mob in this hopper, this comparator will emit a signal and this will trigger the command block. If I put 63 now, this world is an old world and is a big world with a lot of mods. So if you want to do big fight like this, I suggest you restart a new world that is fresh, new, with less mods. Because summoning like 1,000 zombies is really hard on your computer. So like this, I'm gonna summon 1,000 mobs, and you'll see it's gonna start to lag because this is an old world, like I said. Yeah, we're already starting to see, like, look at that. It's extremely slow. And we're not even at 500, and sometimes I can do even more than 1,000 mobs. The other way to summon a lot of mobs is in this way, but this one is a bit more hard to like write. You need like words to write it. It's hard to see like this. I'll show it on the screen right now with the word, but basically it summons a cloud effect with a lot of passengers, and these passengers, like here, is 100 zombies. So if I click this button here, it will summon 100 zombies. Simple as that. It doesn't look a lot in an arena like this, but if you look at the entity count on the top left, it's 100 zombies. Usually when I do my battle like this, I set up the team in advance, so when they spawn, everything just heads to the right team and they fight immediately. So now we're gonna look at some really useful worldedit commands. and I'm holding a wooden axe because you need a wooden axe to make it work. So basically the most useful one I'm using is the copy and paste, the replace near, the replace, the set, the extinguish, the thaw, and I think that's pretty much it. Let's use this mini arena that I used to make the mini fight. You want to left click on the position and right click on another one, so it's gonna make a box. I don't have the visual here, but imagine that this is all selected. When you copy, you want to go to like a point that you remember, like this one here. When you do / copy, like this, so this is affected. It's gonna paste exactly where you are relatively to the structure. So if I go right here and I do paste, it's gonna spawn it exactly in front of me. You can do / undo to just undo what you did. Really useful command too. But if you want to rotate it, you can do / rotate like 90 degrees. It's in degrees. So if you paste it, now it's 90 degrees, and it's also copying the Y levels. So you have to be on the floor to have it on the same level. Because now I didn't copy the ground because I clicked on the bottom left corner instead of the ground. Let's say you have a boss or mob that has spilled lava everywhere on your arena or snow layer on your arena, and you want to get rid of it. Well, you can use / remove near, and you name what you want, lava, and it's gonna remove everything at like a certain radius of block, and you can put this radius to the number on the right of the command. So if you have like 100 blocks to clear, you can put lava 100. It's gonna take more time the bigger it is. But now there's a really useful tool in the Mob Battle Extra mod, which is called the mess cleanup. And basically you just go near something you want to clean up and right click. It cleans water, it cleans lava. Normally for fire I use extinguish like this. But I think, yeah, it does. So this thing is just a mess cleaner. But if you have water in your arena as a decorative block, don't use it, because it's gonna just ruin your arena. The replace is really simple, and it's really useful when you want to change the material of your arena. Let's say we select a region like this, / replace, deep slate tile, like this. And let's say you want netherrack for a nether team arena. Everything that has deep slate tile is converted into netherrack. So if I were to select, let's say here and here, now everything that is deep slate tile has been replaced by netherrack. And if you're not satisfied, you can just do undo, undo. There we go. Don't quit your world or the undo won't be doable. So if you're modifying something and you're not satisfied and it crash, well, you're stuck with it. So be careful. One last thing, if you want to import stuff from one world to another world, like a schematic, these golem shape for extra golem, that's how I use it. I have a corner here and a corner like here. What I do is I go like to the middle like this. You have to do copy like this. Then you can do / schem, space, save, and the name of the thing you want to save. So extra golem. I already have it, so I won't do it. So if you click enter, it's gonna save it as a schematic. And to load schematic in another world, all you need to do is / schem. If you know it by heart, you can just do load and type the name of the whatever you want. Or you can just do list, and it will show you everything that you will already save as a schematic. Now I have 4 pages of stuff here, but because I have a good history of stuff. But oh, also that's another way I found to save armies. If you want the armies to like look really good when you summon it, what you can do is use worldedit to select one corner. You can go to the other corner like this. You make sure to select all the mobs. You can delete the blocks, go somewhere where you want to like copy it. Let's say here, you go copy, -E for entity. Then, and there we go, we have 46 entities saved. And now when you paste it, you can save it as a schematic, so you can have it everywhere anytime you want to summon these mobs, this army. And you can go and just go paste, -E again, and there we go, the same exact army with the same enchant, because I have enchant with mobs, so some of them have random enchant. The same armor, everything is exactly it. There's the banner here, banner there. And now here's some last trick I use for mob battle. It involves mob storage. I don't know how to say it, but mobs that I can't spawn with no eggs in the creative tab. Like a good example is the corrupted champion. Doesn't have a spawn egg, so I have to use the mob battle egg to just keep it with its NBT. And I can have it anywhere without having to do the / summon every time. But also, if you want to keep an entity with a certain thing on, like for example, Rosalind Blade of Dusk, normally when you summon Rosalind, it's encased in like a solid box and you need to like fight it or whatever to release it, you can just use the mob battle egg to just save it with the crouch, and it's already out and you can use it willy-nilly. And now the time is stopped, so that's why it's not moving. What I like to do when I do mob battle army or team or big stuff like thematic with like nether fight, end fight, arthropod, zombies, whatever, I like to keep them in chest. But like you see, there's a lot of holes, because sometimes I add, sometimes I remove mods, and even if you don't open the chest, they will disappear if the mod is not there. So basically this is the golem fight, and probably one of the mod that I had is not there anymore, so there's a lot of hole. So one thing to remedy that is to use shulker box with chest. You can save NBTs with chests. So if you have, let's say this is a nether team, there's probably some missing mobs, whatever, you can crouch, middle click, and you're gonna save the NPT tabs in the chest. So if you place the chest back, everything is in at the same order. One way to keep the mob from despawning from the chest is to use a shulker box and to put the chest in the shulker box. I also like to save it with JEI. JEI offers you the way to save things in the top left corner like favorites. So if you go in your inventory and you press A above a certain item, it's gonna save it here. So I'm gonna have this one here because I'm using it a lot. Like this mob enchant book that I've combined, it's now here and I can use it anywhere, anytime to fully enchant any mob like this. So this is exactly what I did with my shulker box. I have a shulker box full of thematic stuff like spiders, insect, animals, fire team, golden team, blah, 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 blah. And this is the way I can keep the mods from disappearing from my chest. So if I want a team with the nether, I'm gonna reinstall all the mods that I used for the nether team, and then I'm gonna use it back. And one great thing of the mob battle egg, if the mob is not in your mods, it's gonna be saved like as a pink, and I think it summons a pig, but I'm not 100% sure. No, it just doesn't do anything. Okay, when you reinstall the mod, it's gonna be the right one in the slot and you're gonna be able to use it normally. So it prevents you from losing this mob save. This is something I wish they do like Terraria. In Terraria, if you install a mod and you uninstall it, it's gonna keep the item, but it's gonna say blank item or something like that. So when you put the mod back, it's there, it exists. So I wish Minecraft would do that with mods you remove, but I guess it might be too complicated. I don't know, I'm not good at coding. I'm just making mob battle for everyone. Anyway, that was a lot of rambling around and talking. I hope I didn't bore you at all, because there was a lot of stuff to cover. Oh my god, I despawned again. Everything will be in the description. Like I said, I hope I didn't bore you to death. And if you have some question, you can join the Discord. I'm gonna be happy, and people there will be happy to answer your question. We're a lot of mob battle enthusiasts and mod player in general. So I don't know if I'm gonna do a really short version on the main channel, but basically this is why I made the second channel, to just speak on and on and on and on about something. And for those that are really interested, you're gonna stay to the end. And if you stay to the end, please write in the comments, Magispeter has a big brain, just so I know who went up to the end. And as always, you're awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!